Imagine you're an average human and you're going about your day-to-day life and you can feel it. You're in a constant state of stress. Here's why and what you can do about it. But first, let's look at what stress really is and what it does to your whole system. Chronic cortisol leads to fat gain, anxiety and brain fog. That sounds terrible, but that's just the least of it. When you live in constant stress, you're vibrating at a low frequency. You resonate with fear, and you're not active but reactive to life, which means that you are not in the present moment and you are not aware of your actions. You're almost entirely running on autopilot. And this has its place. For example, if you're chased down by a lion, your subconscious mind takes over and makes sure that the right programs are running to bring you to safety. But if this state is your constant state of being, something is wrong because your intuition and your creativity are blocked. So what can we do about this? When you look at chronic stress, it is not a reaction to life, it's a pattern. And it makes sense because our day-to-day environments are designed to keep us in constant stress. For example, if you watch the news where daily new terrors are announced, or you work at a fast-paced office job where you have deadlines to follow and the boss is breathing down your neck, this adds up and gets ingrained in your subconscious programs. Another very prominent source of stress is fear. All kinds of fear. The fear of not being loved, the fear of not being good enough, or the fear to fail in an important situation. And in order to overcome fear, we simply have to get to know it, and when we know it, it loses all its power. So what is fear? Fear is literally just pulling the possible negative outcomes of the future into the present, and by that, feeding it with energy and attracting it into your life. And when you realize this, you don't need to be afraid anymore. And this is also one of the most repeated sentences throughout all religious texts. And when you get rid of your fear, you instantly vibrate at a higher state. And the Hermetic principle states that everything vibrates. You, me, physical objects, just the state they vibrate in is different. And the higher your frequency, the higher and more developed your consciousness becomes. And the more developed your consciousness becomes, the more active and present you will be in the current moment. So you will switch from reactivity to activity in life. Getting rid of stress and fear will change your internal world completely. And as the law of cause and effect states, every internal cause sets an external effect. So when your internal world changes, your external world will mirror these changes back to you. And before I will now give you some tools to get rid of all of your stress, let me know in the comments what currently stresses you or what you are afraid of. So here are some practical tools of how to get rid of the stress and the fear. And I'm going to save the best one for last. A very easy tool to start with is breath work. Just pause for a second whenever you feel anxious or afraid and breathe. Take a couple deep breaths and you will instantly see your state shift. And if you like to move your body like me, then the next one's going to be perfect for you. So everything that has to do with movement, going to the gym, for a walk, going for a run or a swim, even cold exposure can change your state immediately. And I'm sure you already experienced this, that you've been kind of down, but then you went to the gym and you came out like a newborn human. The next one's especially powerful. You can practice gratitude, because a mind filled with gratitude has no space for fear or anxiety. Just sit down and think about all the things that you are grateful for. And these don't have to be grandiose things. We can simply be grateful for our life, for our health, even for waking up in the morning and seeing the first rays of the sun. And now comes the most powerful one, because practicing this develops a real-life superpower. I'm talking about actively training being present in the moment and being aware of your thoughts, your feelings and your actions. Because when you become aware, you can decide to influence and change them. Try it out. Next time when you feel some kind of anxiety coming up, Stop for a second, become aware of the feeling rising up, and then decide to let it move on. Actively think of something different. Actively focus your mind on different scenes. And you will see that when you do this more often, it will also be installed in your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind will take over this practice for you. You will see that you will become aware more often. And in the beginning, to train this, you can simply set yourself an alarm throughout the day a couple of times. And whenever you hear the alarm, pause and become aware of the current moment. You see, stress and fears are merely states. And as the Hermetic laws of frequency and polarity teach us, we can simply transmute them and rise above them by becoming aware and influencing our own state. Now I want to invite you to try out these practices for yourself and find out which one suits best for you. And I want you to always remember, you are not the emotion of fear or stress. You are the awareness that simply can choose and influence your state.